What's up, guys? It's your boy Migs, and actually, I don't need these. I don't need to hear anything, so we're gonna take this off. This is a different video. Recently I've had a lot happen, that I haven't necessarily told everybody. It's kind of been weighing on me a lot, and a lot, I guess, that happened over the years that I haven't really talked about. Things I wasn't necessarily like proud of, and things that I've struggled to work on, and things that I guess might help people better understand me. And so I thought this would be an informative video, and really for anybody who knows me and wants to know me better, I would just try to listen and understand where I'm coming from. Obviously, over the past few years, I've struggled with depression heavily. I'm always depressed. Granted, that doesn't stop me from being the goofy, smart ass guy that I try to be. And I try to always get everybody laughing. That was hey, things look bad, but maybe I can make somebody laugh. Obviously I've been, I've heard, you're not Superman probably 100,000 times over the past few years. That is something that's hard for me. So if you go back 6 years, 5 years, I'm in high school, I'm a freshman in college, I'm healthy, a lot skinnier than I am now. Working on it, don't worry guys, wait for the glow up. It was a different life. I didn't really have things to worry about. I was going to school, you gotta worry about classes and soccer, but it wasn't a lot. Obviously, when I started getting sick, it was weird. I don't even know if sick is the right word, so don't get frustrated. I know some people get frustrated. Well, you don't have cancer, you don't have this, you don't have that, and that's like a slap in the face, and that's something I really don't like, because sometimes it's hard. Recently, I've been to Madison. I've done a lot of testing. I only have 30% use of my left arm. As a man, as a person, that's so frustrating. It's scary. And I feel like a child, and I feel weak because I am scared. I had a doctor who was looking into my health and whatnot, tell me the cyst on my brain looked like it grew. Which is weird, because I've had a lot of doctors look at it. I don't know how to tell people, because if it's growing, then is it a cyst or is it a tumor? I don't know. When everything started, I felt like nobody believed me. Everybody gets headaches. Everybody gets a migraine once in a while. It's every day. I tried looking at it that way, everybody gets them, just take some Advil. Well, the doctor prescribed you pain medicine, so just take some of that. It didn't work, so take some more. And I found myself in this, I don't know, spiral of every time, like, emotionally I felt pain, I knew those pain medication would make me sleep. That was an escape. I didn't have to worry about it. You know, I used to play basketball all the time, but as this progressed, I couldn't do it anymore. I would push myself physically to the point where I'd vomit. I mean, now, using my arms, I begin to shake. It's embarrassing. Like, here I am. I'm a 6 foot, 200 pound guy who, you know, has the strength of like a 10-year-old. One of his arms. You know, it's like, it's embarrassing. It's frustrating. So I struggled with my medication to the point that one day I just stopped taking it. And granted, taking certain medications has repercussions, and I had to go through the withdrawals of some of these medications that I was taking. I stayed at a close friend's house, and they helped me through that few weeks. But I knew taking the medications like I wasn't healthy for me. Regardless of if it helped me feel numb. That is the biggest feeling I felt over the past 5 years, is just numb. I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to remember anything. And it wasn't like anything. It was, I didn't want to remember like all the fun I used to have. And I remember, like, sometimes it's like, well, you could still do everything you used to. And I noticed that the more I pushed myself physically, the harder the worse I felt. Not mentally, but physically. The harder the more I pushed myself, the harder it began to continue to do those things. And I drank. I remember I started drinking when I was like 21. And I wasted a lot of money. You know, that was something that I said I would never do. Same with abusing the pain medications the hospital had prescribed me. I was embarrassed. I kind of hid from everybody. And even to today, you know, I still have a hard time not hiding from people. And it's not that I'm necessarily afraid of you. I'm afraid of me. I'm afraid of, I don't know. I never wanted anybody to, like, I never wanted to depend on anybody. That was my whole thing. I always wanted to learn, hey, you know, I know how to work on cars because then I don't have to go to a mechanic. I want to know how to work on computers because then I don't have to go to an IT specialist. I want to know how to cook. I want to know how to do all these things so I don't have to rely on anybody. I wanted to be the guy everybody could rely on. And that's where that, you know, you're not Superman thing came in. And I've noticed that in the past, using my arms, using my body the way I was, the hospital said I was killing myself. My nerves are damaged. At some point, it was going to either cripple me or hurt me in a way that would not keep me the way I was, or am now at least. Yeah, it's frustrating. I have 30% use of my left arm. I'm going to physical therapy. I'm working on it. I want it to get better. I applied for school so I could get a better job that's not as hard on my body, but it's hard. You know, I'm trying to find a job that not only fits in categories that the hospital said was safe for me, but also that will work around hospital visits and school and whatnot, and try to still be able to keep the job. One of the last jobs I had was important because a family member, helped me get in, and I had other family that I didn't even know worked there, and I felt so ashamed when I got let go over hospital visits. It's one of the most embarrassing and frustrating things is to lose your job for something that I can't necessarily control fully, because every 3 months I get about 30-ish shots in my head, shoulders, neck, face to help with my migraines. And if I don't get them, I get sick. My migraines come back, which make me vomit, shake. I lose feeling on the left side of my body, and that can last anywhere from an hour or two to a few days. I have to do it. But it was like one of those things that people didn't believe, or at least I felt like, and that made me real bitter. I felt like I lost a lot of friends when everything happened because, everything happened and I shut myself out. It was easier to box myself in because I felt like I was going to explode. I felt like everybody else was safer. And it was hard. Not knowing what's going to happen, and not even knowing, I don't know how to tell people, especially my dad and my mom and my siblings, especially my little siblings. Like, I love them so much. Regardless of the fights we've gotten into, regardless of what happens over the years, I hope they know that I've always tried to look out for them and protect them in any way, because that is always, like, my nieces and nephews, my siblings, whatever. Even if I sound like an asshole, my cousins, even if I come off like an ass, I'm always trying to look out for them, my friends, but it was hurting me. I wasn't always taking care of myself, and that's something I'm trying to do, but sometimes it's hard because it's frustrating, and then it's like people are like, well, don't be sad, don't be depressed, you got to go outside and you got to go out, you're just a hermit. But I don't. Some days, like, I'm in pain. There have been days where I've literally just cried and I wanted to cut off my arm because it hurt that bad. And it sounds stupid, and I know it would hurt more, but it's like, if it's not there, it's not going to hurt. When I started this, whatever this is, there were times where I would have, I lived alone, or I, was, couch surfing and sleeping in my car and whatnot, and there was times where I would have a seizure, or I'd have a really bad migraine, and I'd lose feeling on the left side of my body, and I was so embarrassed to even call anybody for help. I would just drive myself to the hospital and go to the ER, and then when I got out, I would just sleep in my car until I felt like I could drive again. Because I didn't want to inconvenience anybody. I didn't want anybody to see me like that. It made me feel just weak. But I've come to realize that I can't hide it any longer. I can't not rely on people. Not necessarily like rely on like for everything, but like for somebody to talk to for, hey man, I gotta go to the hospital, I'm not feeling good, or hey man, I'm gonna have this procedure. I can't drive myself, because there have been times where I've gotten things done that I wasn't supposed to drive home for, that I've driven home for, and honestly don't know how I made it home. Just because I didn't want to inconvenience anybody, and it's stupid. It's stupid stuff, you know. But with me, like, I guess the big thing is you know, I'm trying to grow. Not only in, like, it's a lot of like emotional growth, a lot of mental growth I'm trying to go through here. Obviously, like, I'm trying to go back to school and whatnot, but I know that I have to be in the right mindset. I have to be right mentally and emotionally to do so. And I just want everybody to understand more where I'm coming from, so that, because it offends me, you know, it's not all the time, but, you know, saying, well, you don't leave your house, you know, you're a hermit, you know, just taking digs at me for things that I'm trying to work on, it comes to bother me, you know, especially when I see how much I've grown and how much I still want to grow. It does hurt me, and there's a lot of things that I don't, I guess, necessarily try to show everybody, and I guess that's where some of these videos I have tried to talk about things a little more, you know. I don't know. I try to keep everybody in the loop, and I guess these are the best way I can keep everybody in the loop, because it is hard for me to talk one-on-one with a lot of people, you know. There are topics that are very hard for me to start out. I kind of like gauge who's gonna actually watch this video, you know. I know a lot of my family will, and I know I'll get messages, but it'll be easier for me to give a quick explanation and whatnot here, so that I can better help you understand me. You know, obviously I'm not a mean guy. I do come off as angry and bitter, and that's because I have been angry and bitter. I'm not antisocial. I actually like being around people, and I like making people laugh, and I have a lot of trust issues, a lot of abandonment issues. Recently, I had a falling out with a friend, somebody I called a friend, and they hurt me pretty bad, and I don't really understand why. But I have to realize that certain things are supposed to happen to make me better. I might not always understand the reasoning behind it, but that's okay, because, you know, if they were supposed to be my friend, then they wouldn't have left. So that, you know, so it's just how things go sometimes. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, you know, concerns, shoot, I know there's a lot of religious people. If you want to pray for me, if you want, you know, I'd appreciate it. Obviously, once I know more about my arm, I'm doing physical therapy. The range of motion in my arm is slowly getting better. But the strength in my arm and yeah, the strength in my arm is like a big issue. My left arm is just weak. um, so that's something that I'm gonna continue to work on, and I'm doing physical therapy. I'm trying to do it about once a week, and so I'd still be going to Madison every 3 months for my shots and checkups, with different appointments sprinkled in those 3 months, for different testings and whatnot. And so once I know more, obviously I can tell you guys. But that is, if I come off rude or anything, that's not how I want it to be. Sometimes I don't feel good. To be honest, I have a terrible migraine right now. But I just it's just sometimes I don't know how to, like, I don't know what to do. It's like I'm a caged animal and you keep poking me with a stick, but it's not necessarily anybody poking me with a stick. It's just that irritation of it's just constant pain, and I don't know, like, how to respond, because there's no way I can respond to make it feel any better. It just doesn't go away. And that's not even just a physical pain, that's an emotional thing I'm trying to work through, And so that'd be something I would I'm sorry for. If I've come off rude or snobby or a way that made you think poorly of me, I apologize. And I'd love to have an actual conversation or something, get to know you better. So if you took the time to watch this video, I appreciate you. Well, even if you didn't, I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.